How would you feel if the person you love the most laughed at the traditions that shaped your childhood? What if one small act of understanding could heal years of hurt and bring a family closer than ever before? Have you ever experienced something similar? The sizzle of onions fills the kitchen. I pull my abuela's apron over my head, fingers tracing the stitched flowers. Just like every year, the table's already covered with bowls, shredded chicken, spicy red sauce, corn husks soaking in warm water. My mom, Rosa, laughs as she unwraps another batch. Janelle grabs the speaker, blasting old cumbia songs. And soon, the whole house smells like home. "Smells like a fiesta in here," Brian shouts from the hallway. Grinning wide, Rosa waves him in. "Come roll some tamales, Brian. Don't be afraid." He laughs and tries to sound out, "Tamalada, tamalado." He shrugs, blows a kiss at me. "Lots of vowels, right, babe?" Janelle giggles. "You'll learn." Brian grabs a spoon, pretending it's a microphone. "I'm ready for my tamale lesson. Step 1, call in for takeout, right?" The group laughs, everyone but me. Under the noise, my cheeks burn. Rosa scoops masa into my hand. Anita, make sure yours are tight. Don't let them split like last year." I smile, but it's thin. Brian leans over the counter, watching. "Seriously? How long did it take everyone to learn these old-school recipes?" Rosa's voice is proud. "Since I was little, my mother taught me. Now Anita knows. She'll teach Lily." He grins, looking at our daughter, who sits painting at the table. "Lily, you want to make the world's stickiest burritos?" Lily looks up, serious. "They're not burritos, Daddy. They're tamales. Grandma says so." Brian laughs. "Oops, guess I failed the test." He winks, but I catch him rolling his eyes. Janelle elbows me. "Relax, it's all fun." I finish folding a tamale, tucking it into the pot. It means a lot to me. Sometimes the little things are important. Brian lifts his hands. "No offense. I just don't see what the big deal is. We could order pizza and save hours." Rosa's brows rise, but she lets it go, humming along to the music. Janelle twirls Lily in a dance around the chairs, everyone's voice blending. Passing the plate, Brian whispers, "This is a ton of work for something you eat in 5 minutes." He laughs, but my hand goes stiff. "It's not really about the food," I say. He shrugs. "Yeah, but pizza would be less dramatic." Rosa calls, "Brian, come taste this masa. Tell me if it's right." He tries, coughs at the spice, and puts on a wild face. "You all must be made of steel. No way I'm surviving Christmas here." Lily giggles, but Janelle shakes her head. "You just need practice." I catch her glance, concern hiding under her teasing. I laugh softly, but inside, there's a pinch I can't shake. These jokes aren't as funny as he thinks. I hug Rosa as she heads out. "Thank you for coming." She squeezes my hands, then touches my apron with care. "Your abuela would be proud, Nena." Everyone hugs goodnight. Brian waves, telling everyone, "No more spicy masa for me. Next year, I'm bringing peanut butter and jelly." Once the door closes, I stand at the sink, hands in warm, soapy water. The kitchen is empty, music off, lights now dull. I catch sight of the apron. In its threads, I feel the weight of every story, every woman in my family who fought to keep our traditions. All night, Brian's jokes replay, louder than the laughter that came after. I scrub a plate harder. My throat tightens. I wish I could explain how much it hurt, hearing our story turned into a punchline. But for now, I just wash and wait, the steam blurring the window, my voice too small to carry. The TV murmurs in the background, colors flashing against the living room wall. I stand at the sink, scrubbing the last pan, the steam rising around my face. Brian is hunched over his phone at the kitchen table, the soft click and scroll filling the silence. I dry my hands and cross the room, voice quiet. "Hey, can we talk for a second?" He doesn't look up right away. "Yeah, what's up?" I sit next to him and study my hands. Today, at the tamalada, all the jokes about the food, the family, the names. Did you mean to laugh at it all? He blinks, lips quivering. "Anita, it was just a joke. I was keeping it light." No one seemed offended. I nod slowly, searching for the right words. "I know you were trying to be funny, but it hurt, Brian. These traditions mean a lot to me, to all of us. It feels like you don't take it seriously." He lets out a soft laugh. "You guys get so into it. You, your mom, your friends. It's hours of cooking. Sometimes it feels like way too much for one night. And honestly, it's a little over the top." The way he says it stings. I swallow hard. What's too much to you is my childhood. These foods and stories. My abuela taught me every step. It's how my mom and I connect. How I feel at home. When you make fun of it, I feel like you're making fun of me. He shakes his head. "I'm not making fun of you. I just don't get why you all care so much about these old rituals." I let myself breathe, just a little. You don't have to get it all, but it wouldn't hurt to respect it a little more. Sometimes I feel embarrassed in front of my family when you talk that way. He sighs, picking at the edge of his coaster. "I guess I just don't see it the same. In my family, we don't really do traditions like that. I mean, we order food, we joke. It never has to be so deep." My voice is barely above a whisper. "It's not deep for you, but it is for me. I want Lily to feel this too. To know why her grandma smiles when she makes that masa. Why Spanish music is playing. Why we light the extra candle after dinner." He doesn't answer. He fidgets with his phone and mutters, "I don't know. I just don't want to pretend to be something I'm not." Silence settles. I hear my phone buzz on the counter. A text from Mom. "Gracias, mija, for keeping the traditions alive. Abuela would have been so proud tonight. Love you." I blink fast, heart aching. I look at Brian, but he doesn't meet my eyes. He presses the remote and turns up the TV. The ache grows sharper. I stand, my hands twisting my abuela's apron bunched at my waist. My voice shakes. "It's not about pretending, Brian. It's about caring enough to try. Or at least, not making me feel small in front of the people who matter to me." He tosses up his hands, frustrated. "I'm sorry if I crossed a line. But you know I was joking." I nod, though it doesn't make it better. "Yeah, I know." My voice is smaller than I want it to be. Brian stands, walks to the hallway, and stops. "You know I love you, right?" He tries a gentle smile, but it lands awkward. "Don't stay up too late. I have an early meeting." The TV drones on as he disappears upstairs. The house grows heavy, the kitchen stripped of laughter. I turn the apron over in my hands. Mini flashback. I close my eyes and remember, I'm 6 years old again, barely tall enough to reach the counter. Abuela's hands move certain and quick, folding masa, tying strands, teaching me Spanish words for sweet and for spicy. Her voice is soft but firm, telling me we make these together, so we're never alone. So we always know where we come from. The kitchen is warm, painted with music and care. I laugh, flour dusting my nose, proud just to be there. Back in the present, I stand in the echoing quiet. When I go to bed, I fall asleep with my abuela's apron pulled to my chest, wishing the fabric could erase what words have left behind. My pillow is damp by morning. Has someone ever made fun of your traditions or culture, even as a joke? How did it make you feel? And did you speak up? Share your story. Your words matter. Sometimes the real hurt is underneath the laughter. Sometimes what seems light to someone else can weigh heavy for you. I close my eyes and hope tomorrow will feel different. The house feels hollow after the last family gathering. For days, I move through each room almost on autopilot, setting my alarm early, brewing silent coffee, packing lunches, and leaving dishes spotless before heading out. There's a strange emptiness where music and laughter used to live. The kitchen counter, once crowded with bowls and bright packets of spices, is now wiped clear. Not a single splash of salsa or pinch of cumin in sight. Brian comes home late every night, his footsteps muffled, the TV flickering blue in the dark. Most times, I'm already in the bedroom, pretending to read, but mostly staring at the same paragraph for an hour. When he sets his briefcase down, he barely glances my way. He'll call, "Dinner left for me," without looking up. "In the oven?" I answered softly. He takes his plate, eats in front of the screen, laughs at highlights I don't care about. Our words have shrunk to the smallest gestures. "Good night." "You too." The rest is silence. I fill my days at work, picking up extra shifts, grateful when paperwork keeps my hands too busy to think. On lunch breaks, I call Mom. She chats about the weather, Tia Paula's back pain, how the garden is in bloom. I listen, laugh in the right places, but never bring up that hollow ache inside my chest. I skip our weekly family video call, blaming long hours and tired eyes. Even Rosa notices. "Is everything all right, mija? You're quiet these days." "I'm just busy, Mama." One afternoon, Lily Padfoots into the kitchen, dragging her marker-stained blanket. She peeks over the counter, squinting at the empty buttery bowls and clean granite. "Why is it so tidy, Mama?" I smile, brushing crumbs into my hand. "Just easier this way. Less mess." She hangs by my leg as I stack plates. "It's not fun with no music," she says, voice small. "And Daddy's always in the other room. Everyone's so quiet now." Her words land sharp. Guilt dances behind my ribs. I crouch to her level, tucking her hair behind her ear. "We're just tired, honey. Grown-ups get tired sometimes." She shrugs, unconvinced, and toddles away. I watch her disappear, wishing my answer felt truer. Brian cracks open a soda and sits in the recliner, thumb tapping at his phone. The game's on, voices roaring down the hallway. But in here, the air is still and thin. Sometimes he glances my way, just for a beat, maybe wanting to say something. But he never does, and I never ask. The distance settles between us, colder each night. None of the family calls or texts linger too long on my phone. The group chat dings with talk of Cousin Diego's birthday party next Friday. They want us all to come. Bring Lily, bring Brian, bring your famous salsa. I hold my phone, staring at the invite, thumb hovering over going. Part of me wants to slip back into those noisy rooms, to hug cousins and eat too much cake, lose myself in a place where belonging isn't a question. The other part of me wonders if I'll stand awkward by the punch bowl, trying to laugh over Brian's latest joke at my family's expense. Maybe he won't want to go at all. Maybe I'll end up there alone. I tuck the phone away unanswered, breathing in the sharp, lemony scent of the counters. Too clean, like no one actually lives here. Later that night, as the house settles into even quieter darkness, I glance over the kitchen. Not a single pan out of place. The music's gone. No one dances. No stories float through steam. Just rows of unbroken tiles and an old radio gathering dust. The world outside still spins busy and bright. But in this house, we hold our breaths, waiting, hoping something or someone will make the first move to bring the color back. The cafe is alive with chatter and the smell of fresh pastries. I pull my coat tighter, sinking into the window booth. Janelle's already there, twirling her spoon. Her big smile, the same as it was in 7th grade. She squeezes my hand as I sit. Girl, you look wiped. What's really going on? I inhale, slow. It takes a second, but I let myself wade into the truth. Brian, he just doesn't get it. He jokes about my family stuff, our food, our words, the whole tradition thing. And when I try to explain, he laughs it off. Sometimes I feel tiny in my own house. Janelle nods, listening. Have you told him how bad it feels? I tried, I whisper, voice shaking. He just thinks I'm overreacting. But it's every time my family comes, every time I talk about Abuela. It's like some part of me isn't welcome. She's quiet, gentle. That's not okay, Anita. You teach people how to treat you, even the ones you love. Your roots matter. A flash of pain crosses my face. I don't want to be dramatic, but I want Lily to grow up proud, not worried she'll get laughed at for rolling massa wrong. Janelle digs through her purse and pulls out a folded yearbook, laughing at the dust. Remember this? She flips to a picture. Brian, laughing and red-faced, holding a plate at our high school's international night. I gasp. Oh, wow. I forgot all about this. I didn't. Janelle taps the photo. He tried. Remember how he wore that poncho? He was terrible at salsa dancing, but he did it for you. Back then, he wanted you to know he cared, even if it was goofy. Her words twist in me. Pain, then relief, then a little hope. But people change. My voice is smaller. Now it's all sarcasm. I don't need him to be perfect, just to see me. See what matters. Janelle looks serious. Then tell him that again, and stand firm. This is part of who you are, Anita. If you let it slide, you're letting him miss all the best pieces of you. My breath shakes as I nod. Yeah, you're right. She hugs me hard. Love is telling the truth, even when it hurts, even when it's uncomfortable. I closed my eyes for a second, comforted by her warmth. Across town, Brian sits at a greasy table, unwrapping a sandwich. Tommy grins at him from behind a massive cup of black coffee. Brian sighs. My wife's mad. Actually, worse. She's disappointed. I think I screwed up. Tommy laughs, shakes salt on his fries. What about this time? Forget an anniversary? Brian shrugs. It's the family stuff, the food, the traditions, the Spanish. I make a joke. She shuts down. I don't know. Tommy leans in, dropping his voice. Okay, real talk. If she joked about your mom's pot roast and those football Sundays, how would you feel? Brian pauses. The question hits deeper than he expects. Honestly, he says, I'd hate it. It feels like home, even if I roll my eyes. Tommy smirks. There it is. Different recipe, same feeling, man. You're missing how big this is for her. Brian's shoulders sink. I just thought I was being funny. Yeah, but sometimes a joke's just a cover. Say you're sorry. Show her you care. Her way, not yours. Tommy winks. Step up, Pratt. You might learn something. Brian sits back, troubled and thoughtful. When I get home, the apartment is quiet. I hang my coat, heart heavy but lighter from talking with Janelle. Walking down the hall, I hear Lily humming at the kitchen table. She looks up, crayons everywhere, sunlight catching her curls. Look, Mama. She holds up a picture, bright-colored walls, pans on the stove, a long string of papel picado stretching across the ceiling. I recognize it. Abuela's kitchen, drawn from old photos and Lily's memories. I kneel next to her, smoothing her hair. That's beautiful, baby. Tell me about it. She goes through every detail. The pots, the aprons, the bread, the dancing shoes by the stove. My chest aches and swells at the same time. Will you teach me to make tamales too? Lily asks, eyes shining. I kiss her forehead. Of course I will. And we'll play all the music, just like Grandma used to. I watch her draw, and I worry. Am I passing down pride? Or just making her feel the pain I carry? The kitchen is quiet, but today it's filled with the sound of a tradition waiting for its next chapter. Would you forgive easily if your partner mocked something close to your heart? Or would you expect them to make it right first? Share your story below. Your experience matters. The morning light filters softly through the kitchen window. I'm at the counter, chopping vegetables, when I notice Brian fumbling with his phone, eyes glued to the screen. What are you up to? I ask, curious. He looks up, cheeks a little pink. I'm, looking up tamale recipes. I raise an eyebrow, surprised, but cautious. Really? He nods, biting his lip. Yeah, I figured if I'm going to be part of this, I should at least try to get it right. I watch as he scrolls through pages, mumbling Spanish words, stumbling and repeating. Masa, he says, voice careful. Is that like dough? I can't help the small smile tugging at my lips. Yes, it's the heart of it. Later that day, Brian stands in the living room, practicing. Feliz Navidad, he says earnestly, tripping over the words. Close enough, I tease, folding laundry nearby. He holds up his hands in mock surrender. I'm trying, really. Another afternoon, a package thumps on the porch. I open it to find a bright, glossy cookbook. Traditional Mexican dishes. A few sticky notes jut out, and there's a clumsy, sweet message inside. Maybe this'll help. Love B. He peers around the corner, a little nervous. Thought it might come in handy? I nod, the gesture softening some of the ache in my chest. On the kitchen table, Brian places a bouquet, a blast of orange and gold. Saw these at the store, he says. Figured we needed some color around here. I blink at the marigolds. They're out of season. I know their meaning. He doesn't. But something about that makes it even more real. He's trying, even if he gets it wrong. My phone buzzes, a message from Helen, his mom. Hi, Anita. Just wanted to say thank you for sharing your family's traditions with us. Could you send me the tamale recipe? I'd love to try making them someday. Warmth blooms quietly in my chest. That evening, Lily runs in, waving a brightly colored flyer. Mom, the school wants me to tell a story about our family for multicultural night. My teacher said maybe you could help. I look at the flyer, heart swelling with nerves, pride, and a little hope. Maybe this is our sign to really tell our story, Lily. As I tuck the marigolds closer to the kitchen center, the house doesn't feel as lonely. It feels like something new, a chance at sharing, a chance at healing. The air is a little lighter, the possibility of hope flickering in the sunlit petals. The school gym hums with voices and the crinkle of folding chairs. I shift nervously on my feet, clutching the note cards Lily and I decorated together. The table at the front is lined with family treasures. My abuela's embroidered apron, a stack of old recipe cards, a faded black and white photo of my family back in Mexico. Lily tugs at my sleeve, bright-eyed. You're ready, Mama. Don't forget to say how she made me wear 2 aprons. Her giggle is pure joy. I squeeze her hand. I won't forget. Brian sits in the back, arms crossed, trying to blend in. I catch his eyes for a moment. He looks unsure, maybe even nervous for me. The principal taps the mic. Next, we have Anita Pratt, sharing her family's story. My heart hammers as I step up. I clear my throat, hands trembling, and begin. This is my grandmother's apron. She taught me to tie it around my waist, before I could even pronounce the ingredients we were cooking with. To her, cooking wasn't just food. It was family, memory, belonging. Every Sunday, we'd roll masa and listen to old cumbia records, laughing and fighting and making a mess that seemed impossible to clean. That kitchen was our glue. It reminded us who we were, even in a world that wanted us to forget. I stopped for a breath. When I left home, I brought this apron. Sometimes, when life is busy and traditions feel silly, I still wear it. I want my daughter to know these stories, not just because they're old or different, but because they belong to her too. The room is silent, except for a soft sniffle from somewhere up front. I finished. Traditions can change, but the feeling of being seen, of being loved for all of who you are, that shouldn't go away. There's a pause, then warm applause. A few parents come up as I gather my things, each with a thank you. A beautiful story. Lily bounces at my side, proud. Brian stands at the back, hands jammed in his pockets, shoulders tense. He watches us, me, this history, the pride in Lily's smile. I see something in his eyes shift. On the drive home, we sit in the front seat, Lily dozing in the back. The car is quiet at first, the hum of the engine our only music. Brian finally speaks, voice low. "You were amazing up there. Really. I never realized how much it meant to you." To Lily, I watch the streetlights pass. It does. It always did. He runs a hand over the steering wheel, struggling. "I'm sorry, Anita, for the jokes, for not seeing it before, for laughing when I should have just tried to understand." His voice cracks a little. "I get it now. It's not just about food or old stories. It's about feeling like you belong." A wave of relief and ache hits me at once. "Thank you. That's all I ever wanted, to not be alone in it." He glances at me gently. "I want to be part of it. Really." At home, as we help Lily into pajamas and start to clean up the kitchen, I reach for my grandmother's apron. Slow, deliberate, I place it over Brian's shoulders. He looks confused at first, but then steadies, hands gently running over the embroidery. I smile. "Help me finish cleaning up, okay? It's tradition." A quiet laugh slips out of both of us. For the first time, his help feels like more. A tiny doorway, opening between our two worlds. Have you ever had an aha moment where you finally understood a loved one's culture or pain? What helped you see the truth? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes, a small moment changes everything. As I watch Brian sweeping crumbs and Lily twirling in the living room, something lifts in our home, like warmth returning after a long, cold spell. The night is still, but I know this is just the beginning of learning together. A wooden spoon clatters onto the kitchen counter, chasing laughter around the room. Brian wipes his hands on a towel, glancing nervously at the recipe card. I stand beside him, showing him how to flatten the masa, his face furrowed in focus. My mom, Rosa, leans over with a gentle grin. "Not too thin, Brian. Tamales are like family. Gotta be a little plump to stay happy." Helen, Brian's mom, fans herself and studies the colored spices. "I've never seen so many chili powders in one place. How do you pick just one?" "Easy," I joke. "You don't. You use 3. Brian grins at Helen, asking, "So, what's the wildest meal you made with your family growing up?" Helen laughs, shaking her head. "My grandmother put ketchup on everything. Thanksgiving turkey, even mashed potatoes. My brothers still tease me." Rosa wrinkles her nose, then bursts out laughing. "Ketchup on tamales might be a step too far." The kitchen is chaos. Splashes of red sauce, piles of corn husks, bits of masa dotting the floor. Lily dances underfoot, wide-eyed, snapping photos with her tablet. "Say, tamales!" she squeals. Helen poses. Rosa waves her spoon like a baton, and Brian throws his arms around both, beaming. Rosa, passing Brian a fresh pile of husks, says, "Remember, twist the ends so the filling doesn't run, like tying up a gift." Brian tries, tongue tucked at the corner of his mouth. The first tamale falls apart. He laughs, not bitter, but determined. "Okay, but the next one's going to be perfect. Third time's the charm, right?" Lily hops up onto a stool next to me, peering at Brian's messy work. "Daddy, why do you put stuffing in the turkey at Thanksgiving, but we put filling in tamales for Christmas?" Brian stops, eyes wide. "That's a good question, Lil. Traditions are like stories. Everyone has their own version." Rosa nods, looking at Helen. "See, just like you put potatoes in pierogi at home in Michigan, we fill everything with something." Helen and Rosa trade stories. How their mothers braided bread. How special holidays smelled. How both thought their way is the only way. The conversation flows as freely as the music playing in the background. Brian finally folds a tamale that holds. He lifts it above his head like a trophy, cheeks pink with triumph. "I did one. It may not win a contest, but it's all in one piece." Lily claps, snapping a photo. "Got it." Anita's heart swells at the sight. Brian's flowery hands reach for hers. "Thank you for teaching me. I never realized what I was missing." I press my head to his shoulder, noticing for the first time how colorful the counter has become. Jars and bowls, music and laughter, everyone bumping elbows and sharing jokes. The kitchen, tidy and lonely, just a week before, now bursts with memory. Helen hums softly, Rosa sways with the melody, and Lily twirls in the middle of it all. I catch Brian smiling at me, and in his eyes is a promise. He's here, not just in body, but in heart. "Why do we do things this way?" Lily pipes up, mid-photo. Rosa answers, "So you remember, when you're grown, that love isn't quiet. It's messy, noisy, and full of flavor." Brian adds gently, "And it's never too late to learn." As the sun slides down, the last tamale is wrapped and lined up on the steaming tray. Dishes are stacked, bits of masa wiped from cabinets, and there's just enough time for one more story, one last laugh. That night, after the busy kitchen is silent, Brian and I tuck Lily in. We promise her, and ourselves, that we'll keep both our stories alive. Tamales and turkey, Spanish and English, abuela's apron and old family joke books. I glance over my shoulder as the light flicks off, the kitchen counter bright and bursting with hope. This is what family looks like when you try, when you mess up and keep going, when you listen, when you let the music in. Sometimes, learning together means more than words ever could. The kitchen glows with the soft golden light of late afternoon. Laughter drifts from the dining room. Our blended family huddles around the table, fingers dusted with flour, everyone scooping, spreading, and folding masa into warm husks. Marigolds in a clear jar, bright orange, glowing, sit at the center, their petals reminding me how new things can grow in old places. Brian clinks a glass, rising a little awkwardly, then just goes for it. He grins at the crowd, voice shaky but shining. "I want to thank everyone for coming to Anita's famous tamale party. You all make this feel like home." And now, he clears his throat and tries, with effort and a smile, "Salud, y muchas gracias a la familia, por la comida y por la paciencia conmigo." His accent is rough, but the words ring honestly, enough to get a round of cheers and laughter from both sides of the table. My mom gives him a loud, happy, "Eso, Brian," and squeezes my hand under the table. Lily giggles, clapping along as my cousin translates for Helen. Dishes pass from hand to hand, and stories bounce around, half in English, half in Spanish, all in joy. I watch my family, my mother and Helen sharing kitchen secrets, Lily weaving between chairs with her camera, Brian folding tamales beside Uncle Sal, who jokes that his first try looked like a potato burrito. Even the neighbors join, trading plates and traditions, empanadas next to pumpkin pie, pan dulce beside apple crumble. The room feels different this year, warmer, brighter, whole. I can see Brian's nervousness still. He butchers certain words, stumbles over an old song lyric, leaves a husk a little too thick, but he looks straight at me in those moments, shrugs, and keeps going. There is effort in his every movement. He's not trying to show off. He's just trying, really trying, to learn. I realized then, that's what matters. It's never been about getting every part right, but showing up, open and willing to grow. My heart feels both healed and bigger than before. As the meal winds down, I see friends and family all gathered in a circle, the marigolds at the center catching candlelight. I stand for a moment, just watching. The past and present overlap. My abuela's voice in memory, Brian's soft new Spanish, Lily's laughter, old and new faces, all blending in the dance of family. I think about what I wish someone had told me back when I felt small, after a joke, or invisible around tradition. If you ever feel unseen, or like your story is just a punchline, please speak up. Your voice is important. Sometimes, the people who misunderstand us the most are just waiting for an invitation to learn. Let them try, even if it means a few broken tamales, or switching languages, or feeling awkward with new words. Sometimes respect starts as a shaky first step, a clumsy joke, a small act done with a big heart. And sometimes, families change for the better because someone was brave enough to keep teaching and someone else was humble enough to be taught. Have you ever had someone in your family finally honor something they once joked about? How did it change your relationship? Tell us below. We'd love to hear your story. The night winds down, kids slip into sleepy laps, fresh tamales cool, marigolds fade in the candlelight, and music plays on. I smile as I look around the room. One circle, one story, one growing love. Because a true family doesn't mean getting everything right. It just means never giving up on learning together. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to think about the traditions you grew up with, the sounds, the smells, the stories that made you feel like home. Have you ever had to explain those parts of yourself to someone who didn't understand? And did they try to learn or brush them off? Tell us your story in the comments. Your voice could help someone else feel seen. And if you believe in the power of love, learning, and second chances, like, share, and subscribe for more real stories. Because sometimes, one small effort can change a relationship forever. Respect starts with listening, and real love, it grows when we're willing to be taught.